Hanli.
Oops! Hi everyone, my name is Hanli. Today I'm going to read the books titled Magic Tree House, Book 3, Mummies in the Morning. Do you remember? We finished chapter 5 and now we're going to read chapter 6, right? The writing on the wall. Let's start it. Chapter 6, The Writing on the Wall. Jack and Annie squinted at the pyramid wall. A series of tiny pictures was carved into the stone. There are 4 pictures here, Jack told the Ghost Queen. Describe them to me, Jack. One at a time, please, she said. Jack studied the first picture. Okay, he said. The first one is like this. He made a zigzag in the air with his finger. Like stairs? asked the Ghost Queen. Yes, stairs, said Jack. Just like stairs. She nodded. That was easy enough. Jack thought. Studied the second picture. The second one has a long box on the bottom, he said. He drew it in the air. The Ghost Queen looked puzzled. With 3 things on top, like this, said Annie. She drew squiggly lines in the air. The Ghost Queen still seemed puzzled. Like a hat, yeah, said Jack. Hat? said the Ghost Queen. No, more like a boat, said Annie. Boat? said the Ghost Queen. She sounded excited. Boat? Jack took another look at the boat. Yes, it could be a boat, he said. The Ghost Queen looked very happy. She smiled. Yes, of course, she said. Jack and Annie studied the next picture. The third one is like a thing that holds flour, said Annie. Or a thing that holds water, said Jack. Like a jug, like a jug, asked the Ghost Queen. Exactly, said Jack. Yes, a jug, said Annie. Jack and Annie studied the last picture. And the lines on holes like pole that drops, said Annie. Like a curved stick? Like a curved stick, said Annie. But one side is shorter and then the other. The Ghost Queen looked puzzled again. Wait, said Jack. I drew it in my notebook. Big, so you can see it. Jack put down the script and got out his pencil. Drew a hieroglyph. A folded cloth, said the Ghost Queen. Really? said Jack. Yes, that is the hieroglyph for a folded cloth, said the Ghost Queen. Oh, okay, said Jack. He looked at the 4th hieroglyph again. Jack and Annie pushed on the door. It opened slowly. They stepped into a cold, drafty room. The Ghost Queen was now here in sight. Now here in sight. Dim torchlight lit the huge room. It had a very high ceiling. On one side was a pile of tables, chairs, and musical instruments. On the other side of the room was a small wooden boat. The boat, said Jack. What's it doing inside Queen Hotepi's pyramid? asked Annie. Maybe it's supposed to carry her to next life, said Jack. Jack and Annie went over to the boat. They looked excited. The boat was filled with many things. Gold plates, painted cups, jeweled goblets, woven baskets, jewelry with blue stones, and small wooden statues. Look, said Jack. He reached into the boat and lifted a clay jug. The jug, said Annie. Jack looked inside the jug. Something's in here, he said. What is it? asked Annie. They felt inside the jug. It felt like a big napkin, he said. The folded cloth, said Annie. Jack reached into the jug and pulled out the folded cloth. It was wrapped around an ancient-looking scroll. They slowly unrolled the scroll. It was covered with wonderful hieroglyphs. "The Book of the Dead," whispered Annie. "We found it." "Oh man!" Jack traced his finger over the scroll. It felt like very old paper. "Queen Hotepi," called Annie. "We have it! We found your Book of the Dead!" "Silence! Queen Hotepi!" A door on the other side of the chamber creaked open. "Maybe she's in there," said Annie. Chapter 8. The Mummy. A real mummy, Jack thought. Bandages were still wrapped around the mummy's skull, but most of the bandages had fallen away from his face. It was Hotepi, Queen of Nile. Hotepi's mummy wasn't beautiful. It had broken teeth, little wrinkled ears, and a scratched nose. Its flesh had withered. Its eyes were hollow sockets. The rotting bandages on the mummy's body were coming off. They could see bones. "Oh, horrors!" cried Annie. "Let's go." "No," said Jack. "It's interesting." "Forget it," said Annie. She started out of the room. "Wait, Annie! Come on, Jack! Hurry!" cried Annie. She was standing by the door. They pulled out the Egypt book and flipped to a picture of a mummy. Read aloud. "Ancient Egyptians tried to protect the body so it would last forever. First it was dried out with salt." "Ah, stop," said Annie. "Listen," said Jack, kept reading. "Next, it was covered with oil. Then it was wrapped tightly in bandages. The brain was removed by..." Jack started down the hallway. "Annie," he called. "Had they run out of a pyramid?" Had she run out of a pyramid? Was she already outside? "Annie, help! Jack!" came a cry. The voice sounded far away. It was Annie. Where was she? "Help! Jack!" And Annie? They started to run along the shadowy hallway. "Help! Jack!" Her cry seemed fainter. Jack stopped. He was running away from her voice. "Annie!" he called. Went back towards the burial chambers. "Jack! Jack!" Her voice was louder. "Jack!" Jack climbed the stairs. He went back into the boardroom. He looked around at the furniture, the musical instruments, and the boat. Then he saw it. There was another door. It was right next to the door he had just come through. The other door was open. Jack dashed through it and found himself at the top of some stairs. They were just like the stairs outside the other door. He went down the stairs and into the hallway. It was lit by torches on the wall. It was just like the other hallway. "Annie!" he called. "Jack! Annie! Jack!" Annie was running through the hallway toward him. She crashed into him. "I was lost," she cried. "I think this is one of those false passages built to fool the tomb robbers," said Jack. "A false passage?" said Annie, panting. "Yeah, it looks just like the other hallway," said Jack. "You had to go back into the boat room and out the right door." Just then, they heard a creaking noise. Jack and Annie turned around. They looked up the stairs. They watched it in horror as the door slowly creaked shut. A deep sound rumbled in the distance, and all the torches went out. Chapter 9. Follow the leader. It was pitch dark. "What happened?" asked Annie. "I don't know. Something weird," said Jack. "We have to get out of it fast." Push against the door. Good idea, said Annie in a small voice. They fought their way through the darkness to the top of the stairs. Don't worry, everything's going to be okay, said Jack, who was trying to stay calm. Of course, said Annie. They leaned against the wooden door and pushed. It wouldn't budge. They pushed harder. It was no use. They took a deep breath. It was getting harder to breathe and harder to stay calm. What can we do? Asked Annie. Just wait a minute, said Jack, panting. His heart was pounding as he tried to see through the darkness. Maybe we should start it down the hall, said Annie said. Maybe we'll eventually come to an exit. Jack wasn't sure about that. They had no choice. Okay, come on, he said through the wall. He felt the stone wall as he climbed slowly down the stairs, and he followed. They started down the dark hallway. It was impossible to see anything, but he kept going, taking one step at a time, moving his hands along a wall. He went around the corner. He went around another corner. He came to some stairs. He climbed up and he followed. There was a door. He pushed against it, and he pushed too. This door wouldn't budge either. Or was it the same door? Jack and Annie stopped pushing. It was no use. They were trapped. Annie took Jack's hand in the dark. She squeezed it. They stood together at the top of the stairs, listening to the stairs. Meow. Oh, man, Jack whispered. He's back, said Annie. Meow. Follow him, cried Jack. He's going away from us. Jack and Annie started down the dark hallway, following the cat's meow. Hands against the wall. They stumbled toward darkness. Meow. Jack and Annie kept following the sound all the way through the windy hallway. They went around a corner, then another, then another. Finally, they saw a light at the end of a tunnel. They rushed forward, out into the bright sunlight. Yay! Annie shouted, but Jack was thinking. Annie, he said, how did we get out of a false passage? The cat, said Annie. How could the cat do it? Asked Jack. Magic, said Annie. Jack frowned. That. Look, said Annie. She pointed. The cat was bounding away over the sand. Thank you, called Annie. Thanks, Jack shouted out at the cat. The cat's black tail waved, and the cat disappeared in the shimmering waves of haze. Jack looked toward the palm trees. The magic tree house sat like a bird's nest at the top of one. Time to go home, Jack said. Jack and Annie set off for the palm trees. It was a long, hot walk. At last, and about the road later, Jack followed. Once they were inside the treehouse, Jack reached up a book about Pennsylvania. Suddenly, he heard a rumbling sound. It was the same sound he had heard in the pyramid. Look, Annie said, pointing out the window. Jack looked. A boat was beside the pyramid. It was gliding over the sand like a boat sailing over the sea. And then the boat faded away into the distance. Was it just a mirage? Or was the ghost queen finally on her way to the next life? Home, Jack, whispered Annie. They opened the Pennsylvania book and pointed to the picture of Frog Creek. I wish we could go home, he said. The wind began to blow. The treehouse started to spin. It spun faster and faster. Then everything was still, absolutely still. Chapter 10. Another clue. Mid-morning, sunlight shone through a treehouse window. Shadows danced on the walls and ceiling. Jack took a deep breath. The treehouse was back in the frog with words. I wonder what Mom's making for lunch, said Annie. She was looking at the window. Jack smiled. Lunch, Mom, home. It all sounds so real, so calm and safe. I hope it's a peanut butter and jelly sandwiches, he said. Boy, this place is a mess, said Annie. We'd better make it neater in case Em comes back. Jack had almost forgotten about Em. Will we ever meet Em? Jack wondered. The person who seems to own all the books in the treehouse? Let's put the Egypt book on the bottom of our paws, said Annie. Good idea, said Jack. He needed a rest before he visited any more ancient tombs. Yeah. Let's put the dinosaur book on top of our Egypt book, said Annie. Yeah, good, said Jack. And he did a long rest before he visited another Tyrannosaurus Rex. The castle book can go on the very top of a pile, said Annie. You're nodding and small. He liked thinking about the knights on the cover of a castle book. He felt as if the knight was his friend. Yes, said Annie. Look, she was pointing at the wooden floor. What is it? He asked. You have to see for yourself. He walked to Annie and looked at the floor. He didn't see anything. Turn your head a little, said Annie. You have to catch the light just right. Jack tilted his head to one side. Something was shining on the floor. He tilted his head a bit more. It came into focus. It was the letter M. It shimmered in the sunlight. This absolutely proved the treehouse belonged to M. There was no doubt about it. Jack touched the M with his finger. His skin tinkled. The leaves trembled. The wind picked up. Let's go home now, said Jack. Jack grabbed his backpack. Then he and Annie climbed down the ladder. As they stood on the ground below the treehouse, Jack heard the sound in the bushes. Who's there? He called. Was still. I'm going to bring the medallion back soon, Jack said loudly. And the bookmark, too. Both of them, tomorrow. Who are you talking to? Asked Annie. I feel like Anne is nearby, Jack whispered, and his eyes grew wide. Should we look for Anne? But just then the mother's voice came from the distance. Jack! Annie! Jack and Annie looked around at the trees, and they looked at each other. Tomorrow, they said together. They took up, running out of the woods. They ran down the street. They ran across the yard. They ran into their house. They ran into the kitchen. They ran right into their mom. She was making peanut butter and jelly sandwiches. Amazing. Okay, so let's read this. Building of a pyramid. It took many years to build a pyramid. It also took thousands of workers. Egyptologists think workers used wooden rollers to move giant stones across the desert. Some of these stones weighed over 4,000 pounds. No one really knows exactly how the workers put the giant stones in place. Most Egyptologists think they built large rams to raise the stones up the size of the pyramid. When the pyramid was finished, the rams were torn down. Many people think the work on the pyramids was done by slaves. This is not true. Almost all the work was done by farmers during the flood season. The farmers were paid to help build the pyramids, but most of them worked for a reason more important than money. They believed building the pyramids would help them get to the next life when they died. Okay, so now we're finished, and bye. Nice to meet you. See you again. The next book, book 4. Okay, so bye.